Learning a foreign language is a very complex matter. It's a process, a long process, a lifelong process. And to do it alone, it's incredibly difficult. Probably the whole process would be so much more agreeable if we could find the right teacher who could help us in breaking the language barrier. Today, let's talk about 10 ways in which you can recognize that this is the right teacher for you, someone who can help you break the language barrier. Making mistakes is a natural element in the process of learning a foreign language. It's natural that we make these mistakes, but what if you have a foreign language teacher who keeps correcting all of your mistakes? Every single mistake gets corrected. How will it make you feel? Will you be more motivated to speak more correctly in the future, or will it work exactly the opposite way? Will it make you blocked? Will it make you feel that your foreign language is not good enough even to communicate? From my perspective, a good foreign language teacher should correct only these mistakes which are crucial for the process of development, or maybe these mistakes which are repeated over and over and over again, but definitely not all of the mistakes. Let's remember that we learn a foreign language not to be perfect at it, but to be communicative, and as much communicative as you can be. When we learn a foreign language, it can happen that when we really need it, we can't find the right word, the exact word that we are looking for, or perhaps the exact word that your teacher is looking for. Now, from my perspective, it's always a good idea to let the student speak. Give them some time. If they want, they can use a synonym, they can paraphrase what they have in mind. It's not necessary always to use exactly the word that the teacher is looking for. One of the roles of a foreign language teacher is also to evaluate the student and to share their feedback with students. However, it is very important to keep the students motivated, especially when it comes to a foreign language. And from my perspective, if you have a foreign language teacher who criticizes you much more often than praise, then it's probably a good idea to find someone else who could teach you this foreign language. Because the last thing you need is a person overly critical who can concentrate only on your drawbacks, only on your mistakes, and only on the things that you can't do. I've participated in many language courses, plenty of them throughout the years, and I've had dozens of foreign languages teachers in many different languages, and I've noticed one very important thing. If the teacher wants to help you somewhat to learn the foreign language, sometimes they may feel tempted to use your mother tongue to help you, to facilitate the process. But does it really get easier this way by using the mother tongue? From my perspective, not at all, quite the opposite. Because when there is a foreign language teacher who uses on a regular basis or often the mother tongue of the students, it's like a handicap. It gives a clear message for these students that they do not need to use this foreign language to communicate. If things go really bad, they can always rely on the mother tongue. Now, this creates a very negative habit in many students. Rather than that, I believe in using the foreign language throughout the entire process of learning of this foreign language. Even from the very basic level, I believe that the foreign language teacher should use only and exclusively this foreign language. There is no need and no place for the mother tongue of the students. I hope you are lucky enough to have a decent foreign language teacher, someone who will activate you during classes. But please remember that this is only one part of your process of your linguistic development. It's very important also to be able to spend some time with the foreign language in your own free time, not only to do it in the course. So from my perspective, a good foreign language teacher will encourage the students to do other activities in their own time in the foreign language, whatever it may be. It may be listening to a song and then talking about it with their friends, or perhaps watching a film in a foreign language and then maybe making a comment in the social media. Whatever makes you activated as a student in your own time will be very beneficial for you and for your foreign language development. In many of my videos, I mentioned that learning a foreign language is a long process, a lifelong process. I truly believe in that. You can't really learn any foreign language in 3, 5, or even 10 years really well. Yes, up to some point you can, but you can't truly understand and truly use this foreign language. And since this is a lifelong process, it would be a good idea to have a foreign language teacher who is an interesting person as such. And to do that, it would be very, very difficult to find an interesting person, an interesting foreign language teacher who knows only the foreign language, who is interested only in this foreign language. So perhaps a good idea would be to find a foreign language teacher who is first of all fluent in this foreign language, secondly has experience in teaching this foreign language, and thirdly, very importantly, I believe that it should be a person who can specialize in something else than learning and teaching a foreign language. Classes have a big chance then to be much more interesting, and hopefully you will stay focused for longer with a teacher who is an interesting human being. In my life, I've met many foreign languages teachers, and I've noticed one thing. Many of these teachers believe that somehow it is their responsibility to keep talking throughout the entire lesson. And the students, well, perhaps they should listen, just like in a lecture at the university. My perspective is totally different. It is the student who should speak the most. It is the student who takes responsibility for their own development. And if they participate in lectures only, their development will be incredibly slow, and they will never be able to use this foreign language more or less naturally. Give them a chance to speak, even if it's not done correctly, even if it's silly, or even if they are off the topic. That's all right, as long as they use this foreign language. It will do them good. For 8 years now, I've been learning French constantly, and I've had probably 6 or 7 French teachers, and I must tell you one thing: the vast majority of them, they were so much fixed on grammar. I don't know why, but they believe somehow that grammar can make a great French speaker. It's not the case. And don't let them tell you that, yes, this particular foreign language needs grammar to be perfected, and this is the main skill you need to master in order to speak this language. This is not true. What you need is vocabulary and exercise for communication, and not grammar as such. If your foreign language teacher keeps giving you grammar exercises all the time, there is a big chance that you are never going to progress, and you are never going to acquire this foreign language and use it more or less naturally. We often say that in foreign languages lessons we perfect the foreign language, we perfect the way we use it, and okay, we can say that, but what we do not want to be is to become a perfectionist, because in the process of learning a foreign language, perfectionism, from my perspective at least, is a terrible choice, because if you concentrate too much on these tiny details, you may not notice the main message. The most important aspect of every language use is in the communication, not in the perfection. Of course, you will need to keep acquiring more and more vocabulary, more and more constructions, use the language in more and more difficult situations, but do not feel at any point that you need to be perfect at it. Not at all. You need to be yourself. You need to have fun when you learn. You need to feel that you are doing something that is going to pay off, something that is going to be a good investment of your time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do it now. And if you have done it already, then let me know in the comments what your experiences are with learning foreign languages. Perhaps you remember some good foreign languages teachers you would like to tell me about. Maybe they had some techniques, some methods, some approaches that you feel were very good in your process of acquiring the foreign language. I'll speak to you next time.